Yo, what's up everyone, Star Ray here and welcome back to another NFL video. Today I want to talk about the Raiders and Derek Carr because this whole situation has just kind of not sat right with me. So as many of you guys know, Derek Carr has been sent home for the rest of the season and he's missing out on those 2 games, and yeah, it's looking like he's gonna part with the Raiders. And the reason why this doesn't sit with me is just for so many reasons. It just feels very scapegoatish and it feels like it's just like it doesn't make sense. It just doesn't really make sense to me why they would do this, honestly. Besides, I guess, the 33 million injury guarantee, I guess that's the only reason why. But besides that, it's really a slap in the face to Derek Carr, and that's why I'm very I don't want to say upset with it because I have no affiliation with the Raiders, but it still is just, it looks just very bad optically for someone who is just like a diehard Raider fan. A diehard Raider. Like, Derek Carr was a diehard Raider, and I feel like a Raider fan, I feel like he never turned his back against the Raiders, and this is how they treat him. It's just nasty. It's really nasty business, and it hasn't been sitting right with me. Before I get into it more though, I would like to reach out to other Raider fans and just have you guys, if you watch this video, leave a comment if you're a Raiders fan and tell me how you feel about it. Are you happy about this? Are you guys done with Derek Carr? I really want to know what Raider fans really feel about Derek Carr in this whole situation. Like I said, it really does look like Derek Carr is going to be leaving the Raiders, so let me know in the comments how you guys really feel about this. Is this something you guys been wanting? Are you guys happy? Are you guys sad? Are you guys mad? Who would you put the blame on? Because I have my own thoughts, and we'll get into that later about who I would put the blame on. But let me know if you're a Raider fan. Let me know. Also, while you're down there in the comments, make sure you like and subscribe so you do not miss out on any more NFL videos. So yeah, like I said at the beginning, it looks like Derek Carr is going to be leaving the Raiders, and the last game Derek Carr would have played as a quarterback for the Raiders would have been that Steelers game where Kenny Pickett did the game-winning drive. As a Steelers fan, I have to mention it. But yeah, essentially the Raiders, I guess, kind of did, end Derek Carr's tenure with the Raiders. Now, I think we should start off talking about Derek Carr's just kind of his play this season. I guess even the past couple seasons. We won't talk about his whole career, but just what he's done lately. And what he's done lately has been a playoff run. And this season was a really real just disappointment, I guess. It's a disappointment because everyone, including myself, really thought the Raiders were going to be very good. I thought they were going to be in the playoff contention. I thought they would be up there, man. I really thought they were going to be up there, especially with getting Devontae Adams. Last year, the Raiders weren't as they didn't have that much star power last year, and Derek Carr was still winning games with them, and they got into the playoffs. They actually got into the playoffs with the less talented roster, and with the better roster. Now, this season, coming into the season, they had a better roster. We thought they would take that leap and be up there in just playoff contention and look really good, and they haven't. They looked very disappointing. They looked like a bottom team. They're basically they're missing the playoffs this year. Now there's a chance, but it's just it's kind of like the Steelers where everything has to go right. Teams have to lose and win. And yeah, it's very that's not a great way, especially for the Raiders, who had such high hopes coming into the season and everybody thought they were going to be really good. So the Raiders have been a massive disappointment this season, and I'm going to put some of the blame on Derek Carr. Offensively, Derek Carr and the Raiders, they haven't looked as good as they did last season. They've looked very just kind of lost a lot of the times. They have flash moments, but they can never close out a game. When it comes down to the end, it's always 3 and outs. They've had to lead 4 games this season by halftime, and then after halftime in the second half, they have lost those leads. That's the first time in NFL history where a team has had the lead 4 times in a row by halftime and lost all those games. And to me, that comes down to Derek Carr's play as a quarterback and as just the offensive leader. I feel like they have left some drives out there where they should have really, had points. He's also, turned the ball over a lot this year. However, I do not put all this blame on him because, like I said, even though he has been playing bad, they have been losing games that are very, very close. And I feel like that comes down to the defense, and I also feel like that comes down to the head coach. And this is getting into the reason why I think the Raiders have been so bad this year. To me, the defense is always underprepared for the big games. It feels like they always let up the big wins. Multiple times this season, it felt like the Raiders were in these games, but they lost it in the fourth quarter. Obviously, I think the biggest one is the Baker Mayfield game. That was a very disastrous game for them, offensively and defensively. But defensively, it was just, I mean, that drive that Baker Mayfield did, that shouldn't have happened. That really shouldn't have happened. No way any good, confident defense just allows that to happen. There's no way that should have happened ever. And I think that comes down to the defense not being prepared for these big moments and not having confidence in themselves. It feels like they just kind of don't have the fight back. Another game I remember earlier on this season where the defense really just fell apart and crumbled was the Arizona Cardinals game, where Kyler Murray just did some just tomfoolery. He was running around. It felt like for 15 seconds he was just running around, and then they got, I think it was a touchdown. Wasn't it a touchdown? I remember they're in the red zone. I remember the play off my head, but he was running around and he either got the first down or a touchdown. But it was just man, that's that type of stuff. That's what happens when their defense isn't good. Their defense, that shouldn't have happened. Those plays don't happen, and their defense just let them happen. Another game I remember was on Monday Night Football, the Chiefs versus the Raiders. The Raiders were in that game, man. The Raiders were in that game, but then Patrick Mahomes did Patrick Mahomes things, and they won that game. But I felt the Raiders were in it. The Raiders made that game close, and that was the game where Devontae Adams pushed that cameraman, because they were in that game, man. They really had a chance to win that game, and their defense let them down. They all, Derek Carr did let them down as well. He oversold the throw, but I feel like they were in that game. They just couldn't stop Patrick Mahomes. When you look at the Raiders' schedule this season, they lost so many close games. They lost this Chargers game, very close game. They could have won that game. They lost that Cardinals game where Kyler Murray just did some magic in overtime, to send it into overtime. It's just crazy, I think Hunter Renfrow even got hurt in that game. But then you see this Titans game, they lose by 2 points. They beat the Broncos, but it was the Broncos, but it was a good showing. But they've just had so many up and down moments. Right here, the Raiders and Chiefs game, they had that game, man. They had that game, but they just lose these close games. And they don't even help themselves. Offensively, the Saints game, they looked very bad. They just looked just lost. They looked very, very lost. They didn't even score. Yeah, they've just had so many up and down moments where they should be a lot better, and they don't play better at all. And look at it. There's all these games are so close. The Jaguars game, 7 points. The Colts game, 5 points. They won this game. The Seahawks game, they won that game, and then overtime, I remember that one. But yeah, this game was they should have won that game, man. Against the Rams, they should have won it. No way they let Baker Mayfield do that. And then I think it just comes down to that last Steelers game, the last Derek Carr game, where the Raiders they just couldn't do anything. And I put that on Derek Carr as well, but I just put it as I really put this whole situation where the Raiders just kind of suck and feel that they're underprepared to win these games. I put that on their coach. To me, Josh McDaniels has not prepared this franchise and these players to win games. Like I just showed you, they were in these games, and sometimes the defense did let them down, sometimes the offense let them down, but I feel like it really, that stuff that you, a head coach is there for to fix. He's supposed to fix those problems and get the team to be better. And I feel like Josh McDaniels did not do that. And I feel like getting rid of Derek Carr is a scapegoat, just response. And it feels I just don't understand it. I can understand that they're done with Derek Carr, but they think it's time to move on. But I just the way this seems like they're blaming everything on Derek Carr. This losing season is on Derek Carr, and that's just not the case. That is not the narrative. That is just wrong. It's really wrong, and just really rude and offensive and disrespectful to Derek Carr to do that. And like I said, I have no affiliation with Derek Carr. I think he's a pretty good quarterback. I honestly think he's a pretty good quarterback. I think last year he even showed it with like I said, they had a less talented roster and they did more. I think this truly comes down to the head coach and the defense and also missing offensive players this year. Hunter Renfrow suffered a concussion earlier on this season and also suffered injuries, and it felt like he was basically out this whole season. He didn't really come back until like the Steelers game, and he actually looked pretty good. But De'Aaron Waller has also been up and down for this season. He's in games, he's out of games, but he's basically been missing. So, and I feel like they haven't really had the receiving core all healthy together. It really does feel like Devontae Adams and then like Matt Collins and then some other pieces. So I would give Derek Carr the benefit of doubt that, man, this season has just been, bad. It's just been a bad season. No one expected this. Everybody had high expectations, and everything that could go wrong did go wrong. And I'm honestly surprised that they're taking this route to just get rid of Derek Carr, especially because the Devontae Adams. But like, I just feel like they would have done one more season with Derek Carr. Like Derek Carr is a good quarterback. If Derek Carr goes to another situation like the Jets or something, he's going to shine and he's going to win them games. I think he's going to win them games. I don't think it's going to be like a Russell Wilson situation, because Russell Wilson, his like greatest attribute was his ability to scramble out of the pocket and everything. His athleticism was what carried Russell Wilson, and Derek Carr is the opposite of that. He's a pocket quarterback. Yeah, he can scramble and he can make plays, but that's not what he's known for. He's like a pocket quarterback, and I feel like that's not like, there's nothing this year that shows that he's on the decline. Sure, he's made mistakes and he's had interceptions and everything, but that's stuff that you can fix, and I just don't like, that's not something that's on the decline. Like, his arm is still there, he can still make throws, it's just that he's making mental mistakes. That's something you can fix, and I think if he goes to a better situation, that's something that's going to get fixed just dramatically. So yeah, this whole situation has really been bothering me because it just doesn't make sense. I feel like Derek Carr, they should have just ran this back one more year. Then if Derek Carr has this year, then I'm a bit more understanding that they gave this a try. It didn't work, but like with all the injuries that happened this year, and just like the new head coach and everything, I feel like they should have gave this a little bit more time. And I don't know where the Raiders go here from quarterback. Now, is Jarrett Stidham going to be amazing? Is he going to be that guy? If he's that guy, then they look like a genius. They look like a genius. But if he's not that person, and they're still going to go ahead and get rid of Derek Carr, I don't know what they do for a quarterback. So yeah, this whole Derek Carr situation is just I don't know, it just feels very just like, let's do something, we need to do something. It feels like if I don't get it. I just truly don't get this situation, and I don't like the disrespect they threw Derek Carr after all he's been through with his franchise. It just feels very disrespectful. He's been through the Antonio Brown days, the Ruggs days, the John Gruden days. He's been through all this, and he's still there. He's never said anything bad about the franchise. He's always showed up. Like, he's never really missed games. He's only missed 2 games because of injury. Derek Carr is that man. He's a franchise quarterback. Like, he's a team guy. He's really a team guy, and for them to do him this way is just so disrespectful. I don't know who would want to play for the Raiders after this. I think Derek Carr would fit perfectly with the Jets. I would love to see him with the Jets. I think they have a great defense, something that I feel like he's never really played with. So he'll play with a great defense. They have they're young. The Jets are so young that, like, just putting this guy in, it feels like I just feel like it makes sense. It makes so much sense. Derek Carr is a winner, and I feel like all the Jets are really missing is a quarterback. Zach Wilson isn't that guy. Mike White, Derek Carr is obviously better than Mike White, and give him all the tools to that offense. Oh my god, I think Derek Carr does really good with the Jets, and I would really like to see him with the Jets. But yeah, that's gonna be it for this little rant video. This whole situation really just frustrated me, and I think you guys can see I'm not a Raiders fan, but this is just, it doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense, and yeah, I'm done with the Raiders. I was kind of rooting for them for a little bit, but if they don't have Derek Carr, I'm not gonna be rooting for them at all. It just doesn't really make sense. Like I said at the beginning of the video, if you're a Raiders fan, let me know in the comments how you feel about this. Are you pro Derek Carr? Are you anti Derek Carr? If you were the Raiders owner and everything, what would you do? Well, who do you think is the problem? How do you fix this? Yeah, just let me know in the comments how you feel about this situation, because like I don't know that many Raiders fans, and I'm not very sure how the Raiders fans feel about this move. So yeah, let me know in the comments how you feel about it, because I want to know. Also, let me know how you feel about my opinion about this whole situation. And like I said, leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and so you do not miss out on more NFL videos. We do NFL predictions weekly, and I do Steeler recaps weekly as well. Anyways, thanks for watching, y'all. I hope to see you in the next video I do. Goodbye.